I'm not gonna lie, do you know what my favorite thing to see is in the chat? When people say, oh, I'm not gonna lie, chat. That's like one of those things where I'm just like, I'm here for it, okay? Gamers, I've got an interesting video for you today. In defense of Nintendo keycards, yes, really, by Average Joe's thoughts. What has the Average Joe got to say? As far as I'm concerned, game keycards are just kind of like, it's unfortunate that they have to be a thing, and I really hate them. It feels like the worst of both worlds, in the sense that you get a physical cartridge, but not all the stuff is on the disc. If you're gonna own something physically, ideally the whole physical media is on the cartridge or the disc or anything. So when you don't have that, it almost feels like a what's the point sort of thing. Now I understand in the digital age, I suppose having some sort of option is better than none, but like, it is just genuinely a hard sell. Physical media, or it's already kind of like, I would say, not necessarily on the way out, but I would say digital media is probably a bit more dominant. Like if I was to look up the statistics, I haven't right now, I would say digital probably has a slight edge over physical, slightly at the moment. With physical already kind of losing the war, having an option like this just kind of sucks. I suppose it does make releases that otherwise wouldn't get a physical release anyway. It gives publishers or like indie devs another option, maybe. I'm trying to think. There's probably some good points you can mention. If you're asking me, it just feels like, as someone who likes to buy physical options, it just feels like the worst of both. Now, I don't doubt for a second that the internet hate is like up here, when it should realistically just be around here, you know? But I'm hoping the Average Joe can come up with some thoughts for us to conceive. Take it away.
To the people complaining that Switch 2 is using game keycards, if you really cared that much about games being stored physically, then you could just buy a new SD card for every game. Boom, physical copy. Checkmate, atheists.
Guys, he's cooking already. Guys, he cooked you. Guys, he cooked you. Guys, he cooked you. It's true. Just buy another SD card. He's right. He's right, chat. He cooked you.
No, but seriously, why is everyone so mad at Nintendo over these new keycards? Is it honestly better for every single game to ship on its own cartridge?
I'm hoping I didn't pause you too soon, but I'm going to say yes, but I'll let you finish your point.
And before you answer that, I want to lay down a few key points that I feel people aren't fully considering when bashing Nintendo's decision.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
So
let me in.
Hear me out first.
I will.
And then you can roast me in the comments for being an
And then I'll write slurs. Don't worry.
No shill. So first, a quick recap for those out of the loop. Nintendo announces the Switch 2, everyone applauds, wow, it's amazing. But what's this? Some games won't actually be stored on their respective cartridges, instead acting as a key granting you access to download and play the game. Which,
as I said, it feels like the worst of both. If I was to quickly give a plus point, I suppose, I know, forget. You can go, brother.
But only when the card is actually
I'll let you finish,
in your
and then I'll say my
system?
point.
Well, that's not physical media at all. That's just a hunk of worthless plastic.
Oh, okay, I remember what I was going to say. I completely forgot, but I just remembered right now. I'll let it down a roll real quick.
I'm gonna bet that he's gonna say that it's more convenient than how limited run games own physical games.
Do I need to do a deep dive on limited run? Because like when people say limited run bad, I have no idea what you're talking about. I feel like we need to do a bit of research on them. What I was going to say is that at the very least with Nintendo, Nintendo has essentially forced companies to announce when you don't get the whole game in the card. Like, for example, whenever, like, I think the PlayStation and Xbox already do the whole game key card thing, where the whole game isn't on the disc, but you don't know that until you put the disc on your console, right? Whereas you could say with the Switch 2, they at least announce to you beforehand. It still makes it a shitty option, but at least they're being a bit more upfront about it. That's probably another positive thing I could think about, but either way, I'll let you go, brother.
Your system? Well, that's not physical media at all. That's just a hunk of worthless plastic. Could you imagine worthless plastic for my Nintendo console?
Listen, you're attacking me. I have a pair of DK bongos, okay? I feel it. Listen, I feel it, gamers. I feel attacked. I feel attacked right now. I'm kind of here for it, I'll be real with you. He's got slick animation. He's fucking roasting the Nintendo chuds. I'm kind of here for it, chat. I'm kind of here for it already.
But like, why is it so important for games to be available physically in the first place? Well, gamers have their reasons.
Yeah.
And most of them make no sense.
Really? Okay.
Because first off...
Good grief, lad. Oh, he is throwing down the gauntlet, isn't he? Right off the rip. Holy shit. No, okay. No, obviously the chat is mad. Okay, the chat is mad at you. average Joe. But as someone who buys both physical and digital games, I would say I generally tend to lean more physical. I would say the advantage of physical is pretty obvious. You get the whole game in your cart, and you're not reliant on a company's servers arbitrarily shutting down. Now, I say arbitrarily, but thankfully, as of now, most companies have been pretty good at keeping their servers up for what I would say is a respectable amount of time to give you as much time as possible to download as much as you can before they shut off. But, for example, should we necessarily trust those companies to keep up that goodwill for forever, essentially? I think it's better if somebody has the game they want now, and that way they can do whatever they want. They own it, essentially, right? They can dump a copy online to preserve it that way, so that way you're not relying on these servers that may arbitrarily shut down whenever. Does that make sense? So while obviously digital has the absolute boon of that it's just way more convenient, way more convenient. I think a lot of people who are physical andies just forget, I can literally go into a digital storefront and have the game in like 20 minutes. Like, I don't need to leave my house. That is just brilliant, okay? And that'll forever be the one big boon that digital has. But to say digital over physical is a little crazy. I mean, I would say physical over digital, but that's crazy. That's crazy, broski. I'll be real. But
That's right.
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm tired of pretending it's not.
China!
Now, obviously, this first point is subjective, but we're hearing me out. That's what the video's about.
That's
so
true,
back
go
to
on.
the whole putting every game on its own micro SD card thing. What does it actually mean to own a game physically? Like, you want to call your copy of Mario Kart World physical because the game exists on a cartridge? Okay, my copy of Mario Kart World exists on this micro SD card. Therefore, mine is physical too. I hate this implication that digital...
I think we're splitting hairs though, aren't we? Like, I think the difference is I buy a card and that is it. You are necessarily reliant on a server being up forever in order to make sure that someone can download onto an SD. Like, you own it digitally now. You own it technically digitally, physically now. But who's to say that's going to be there forever? It's not. Do you know what I mean? That's not the case. That's not the issue that people have. Is that right now, do I have it? Like, I have this. I have a physical copy of DK Bonanza. I didn't need to find an SD card. I didn't need to like download it from a server. I just have it now. In 15 years when the Switch 2 servers are gone, I still have this. If somebody else wanted to download it digitally, they can't anymore. And that's the issue. Like, you have it physically now, but it's not, is it gonna be there forever? I feel like this point would work a lot better if servers were kept up indefinitely. Does that make sense? I think that point would be way better. But there's been precedent to show that companies will just, at some point, now granted they do leave them up for a while, but at some point, most companies just go, we're shutting up shop now, no more servers. So it avoids that reality entirely, but I'm gonna hear him out first. I'll let him out.
On this micro SD card. Therefore, mine is physical too. I hate this implication that digitally downloading your games means the data somehow doesn't exist anywhere. All games are digital data that still needs to be stored someplace physical, like a CD or a hard drive. Even servers are pulling from a physical data center somewhere. All of my games were saved to my Switch's internal storage. When I hold my Switch, I am holding my entire game.
I don't think that's what people mean, though. Are we really like strawmanning this hard, chat? Like, average Joe, I'm willing to give you like the time of day, but like, I feel like you've taken it like you've taken it to the literal nth degree here. This actually, this is insane.
General chicken with rice, and let me get an egg roll with it.
It come with egg what?
Does it come with egg what? What? Is the egg what physical or digital?
Is that my game isn't contingent on possible errors or legal mumbo jumbo removing the product I have purchased.
Exactly.
I have gone out of my way to buy physical games for these reasons.
And then what's to say that like your SD card can't corrupt? Like, Nintendo are bound by the government, thank you government, to make sure that the physical medium in which they store the game in runs to great effect, or to 100% effectiveness, really. And if they don't, I can return it and get another copy. Like, when you buy things physically, you can essentially guarantee that this is all here. What if your SD card corrupts? Like, do you know what I mean? So even if you were telling me I have a physical SD card that also has the game too, if you lose that SD card, it's essentially gone. You know what I mean? There's no guarantee that the SD card is going to work, whereas Nintendo officially guaranteed that this will work. And I think throughout the years and years that cartridges have been around, it shows that they are a much more trusted media. I would happily trust a physical cart than I would an SD card. Does that make sense? Happily, because obviously this has a bit more legal protection by it. So I think that's what people mean when they say physical, I think. I don't know why you're taking this a bit literally, I would say. Is when you get a physical cartridge, you're kind of assuming that it's just there and kind of works. Whereas with a SD... Yeah, I think we're just taking it a bit too literally. I'm kind of... My brain is kind of melting in a way. Because I feel like he's taking it a bit too literally here. Like, I am not contingent on a server when I buy DKB in a store, and I also have the essential guarantee that the physical media that I've put it on works, whereas your SD card might not guarantee that. You know, like, I've never had to think about this before, I'm being honest. This is the first time I had to think about this on the fly, because I didn't think somebody would take it this literally. And also, obviously, the big point is the servers don't run indefinitely, you know?
Can't you just get SpongeBob to
So,
do it?
Oh, no,
strange.
No, lad. You know
Very, very strange.
That being said, don't peep my Steam library.
Listen, don't peep mine neither. Okay, thank you, Camp. Even if you think digital is better, why are you hating on people who want the option? Yeah, that's also another weird thing. Is that like, yeah, people just like the option as well. Very, very strange. Why are people obsessed with the meaning of physical games with the point? While the point of people have problems with is seemingly going over his head. Yeah, he's. Hopefully he acknowledges it. I'm hoping so, because I can't say I've ever gotten into what it is. I can't say I've ever gotten into the philosophical debate of what is a physical game? What's a miserable pile of secrets? I can't say I've ever done that before personally, but yeah, I think most people just want to be able to go into a shop and buy the game, regardless of whether any server or the publishers at hand say they can or cannot. You know, I want to be able to. Right now, I could go into a CEX and buy a copy of the Metroid Prime trilogy, and it just works on my console. Whereas if you do it digitally, I can't do it digitally anymore by legal means. And if you're talking illegal means, there's no guarantee I'll be able to find it neither. I mean, I most likely will, but obviously there's no guarantees there, essentially, whereas with physical media there is. We've had both for such a long while. Why does it matter if you want physical or digital? It's a personal preference. It's a weird game, but we'll continue watching before I read more of the chat.
Which is internal storage. When I hold my Switch, I am holding my entire game collection, physically. And is that not better than having to lug around a bunch of tiny-ass, expensive, easily losable game cards everywhere with you?
Okay,
Have
have you got a dog? Like, where are you losing them, broski? I'll be real with you.
Where you sometimes had to own multiple memory cards to store your whole game library's save data. I'd rather not have to do that with multiple SD cards for full games.
But apparently this guy wants to, eh? Hey, Benji, apparently this guy wants to. Thank you for the 10, broski. But I'm just like, have you got a dog? Have you got like tiny children? Like I have my, where is it? Well, it's not in my room right now, but I have like a Splatoon 2 carrying case that just has my games, and when I want to play them, I just bring. I don't bring my. Holy bad faith, man. Firstly, how often are you taking your Switch out? Firstly, you're talking to like a small percentage of people. With the percentage of people that carry their Switch out with them very frequently. That's a small percentage of Switch users. I know obviously some people, myself included, I do bring my Switch with me outside, like if I'm going on a flight, if I'm going to work and I can like do it, then yeah, I do bring my Switch with me. But it's fair to say, chat, most of us are using our Switches at home. And if I am bringing my Switch outside, I'm most likely just bringing the game or games I want to play, and that's kind of it. And if I am bringing the game or games I want to play, I'm probably not going to carry them somewhere loose where they can get What is this? What are we doing here? This is not the masterclass I thought it was going to be. Let's put it that way, gamers. And on top of that, if what you told me earlier that, oh, you own something on an SD card, therefore you own it physically, wouldn't you have to lug a whole bunch of SD cards around too by your own logic? I don't know what we're doing here, Mr. Joe. Mr. Joe? Are you sure it's not short for Joe as in Joe Biden? I don't know, man. Oh, America! You see, when I carried the physical games with me, there was this one time I went to CEX, but that's not important. Anyway, when I bring the games with me, and then this dog, there was this little Pomeranian, this little Pomeranian mix, I think it is. It was or something. But that's not important. Ended up eating my Switch games, and I had no games. I had none of them. They were all like, what are we doing? That's the kind of vibe I'm getting from this video. Anyway, let's continue.
Bunch of tiny-ass, expensive, easily losable game cards everywhere with you kind of goes directly against the idea of portability, if you ask me. So why doesn't everyone besides hardcore collectors just make the switch to digital already? Well, The problem with this logic, and why gamers still tend to value physical media over just downloading everything into one place, is the lack of instant accessibility. And what I mean by that is, when you digitally download a game to your console, you first have to make an account and tie that account to your purchase, meaning...
Basically, yeah. Okay, at least he's entertaining the alternate argument.
Afford 1 terabyte SD Express cards.
How much are they? Hang on. How much are they? They must be pretty expensive, honestly. Oof.
You can't actually play the game you have downloaded unless you also have access to that account. But it's like, so what? Do you not have internet? How are you watching?
Oh, brother. Oh, that hurts. That actually hurts, chat. I'll be real with you. That hurts so bad. And he even used the Blizzard clip as well. Ah, that! Yeah, okay, Average Joe, I'll be real with you, okay? I think it's fair to assume that most people buying video games, especially physical games, especially like Nintendo consoles, which are quite like on the pricier end, probably also have internet. What I'm telling you is that's not a good. You shouldn't. How do I explain to someone that that's just not something you say? How do I explain that to someone? How do you listen, Mr. Joe? Hang on, Mr. Like, it's like, do you know what this is, chat? This is like the gaming equivalent of somebody has like a bit of food stuck in their teeth, and like it's just a bit too awkward to go. Like it's a crowded area. They're in the middle of a conversation. You don't want to kill the flow, but like you just want to go. This. That's what this is, chat. That's literally what this is. Like, I'm desperately trying to say you have something stuck in your teeth because I want to help you out, but I'm just not got the opportunity. Because I'm just like. It's fair to assume most people have internet, yes, but there's still a good chunk of people who don't or have it slow enough where that's not a viable option, Mr. Joe. And while I'm thankful that I don't have to deal with that very much, there's still some people who do. I can believe that there's someone who likes to play Nintendo games, who can afford Nintendo games, but say the area doesn't have the good infrastructure for good internet. Just to clarify, my fiance lives in America, one of the most developed countries on the planet. She only got fiber internet literally like 8 months ago. So we're talking about America, okay? The US of A, broski, right? Think about literally any other country on the planet, okay? I didn't think it'd be this bad, chat. I'll be real with you. I didn't think it'd be. That is what a dog shit point. I'll be real with you. Oh, that's sad. That's actually sad to hear. It really genuinely is. Physical is a lot convenient for older audiences. You either don't have good internet or may struggle with setting up an account. Yeah, literally. I don't even know what to say. I genuinely don't even know what to say. For your sake, I'm actually getting a bit red in the face, chat, because I'm actually embarrassed for him. I'll be real with you. I can only hope it gets better from here.
Watching this video then, do you plan on not having internet in the future? Okay, fine. When you put a CD or a game cartridge into your system, boom, you just start playing it. No internet, no account required. Yeah, great. Good for you. But are you honestly gonna sit there and tell me that you then proceed to never make an account, never play online, never buy any DLC? Hell, most modern games already require a constant internet connection to play, or force you to download a day one patch just to boot it up. You're complaining that video games require an internet connection? Yeah, try getting a job in today's economy without internet. See how far that gets you.
I think the requirement for someone browsing a static web page like Indeed and somebody downloading an entire copy of God of War Ragnarok are two totally different things, Mr. Average Joe. How do I explain this to him, chat? How do I? I'm at my wit's end. I don't even know what to say. Holy shit! This is like, I don't think the light to dis ratio is high enough. I'll be real with the Average Joe. What a dog shit tone deaf video. Holy, and then the worst part, you know the worst part is, chat? Nintendo is like the worst company to say this about. Because you know what happens when a game has an update? I could just click cancel and still play the game. Like, granted, most games are like, a good chunk of games on PlayStation and Xbox do require constant internet. But Nintendo's the one company that generally doesn't require that sort of thing.
Why do single-player-only games have to require internet?
I don't ask him, honestly.
Attendance is quite low tonight. What happened?
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time,
Bacon gave $2
Thank you so much, Bacon, and Erend.
I applied for my job in person.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm genuinely gobsmacked. This is the one time where I don't think I'm being appropriately transformative with the content at hand, chat, because I don't know what to say about such an awful dogshit tone deaf take. I agree. It's fair to assume most people in the modern day have good internet, but I'm not going to make a statement assuming everyone has good internet. Does that make sense? There's a massive difference between the two. Massive. And I think you've made a awful error on your part. Mr. Can we please just watch Bandit? Do you know what's more annoying than this guy, Nice Car Ethan, I'll be real with you? It's people who complain about the video I'm watching. Please just go watch another stream for about an hour and come back and we'll be watching something else, okay? Don't bother me. One friend I share a Switch with is their sister who moved to Europe and brought a new Switch. The recent Nintendo made elite access to all our games because it's not her main Switch. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the nonsense you have to deal with if you go digital. Whereas with physical, you know, regardless of what happens, you have your games. Do you know what I mean? I know, Joe, you got a... Like, it happened to Chili... I was just about to say, didn't it happen to Chili Green as well? Like, it happened to you as well, right? Fuck yeah, now, lads. Diabolical.
Of course, single-player games still exist, and Nintendo excels at them. I get that, but I've only ever had to be signed into my account just to download the game, and can play it offline anytime after that. I may not own a physical copy, but I do own a perpetual license to re-download it anytime I want from their servers.
As long as you have access to the account, which two people in my chat, I can confirm with Chili Green, I saw it myself, and if Pedro's to be believed, is not the case sometimes. Sometimes these companies will just be like, sorry, can't find your account. What if you forgot your password though? What if you're transferring your stuff and you forgot the password and you don't have access to the email anymore? I don't have to remember an email to have this. I don't. I just have this. This is mine now. And again, a niche instance, but the fact that that can even happen, whereas with this one it doesn't, is a fair delineation to make. Does that make sense? But... what if someone steals your account? Like, is somebody going to go into my house and steal this? Was it empty case? I mean, they might do. But that's why I have locks on my door. Yeah.
And you might be thinking, but what will you do in 20 years when the Nintendo server shut down?
Yeah.
At that point, I'll still have my physical cartridge of the game, so I can still play it. But I'm just like, so can I? I will also be able to play Mario Kart World 20 years later because it was installed to my console. Just because the server...
What if you lose your Switch, though? What if your Switch, like, breaks? Like, what if literally anything happens to your Switch, though? That's the thing. Like, you're essentially relying on your console working, whereas, like, I have this. I have, like... Yeah, what if you didn't have it anymore? What if someone stole your Switch, Average Joe? What if I came to your house? What if I came to your house, Average Joe, you know? What if I just came to your house right now? Listen, all I'm saying is that the chances of Musty being in your house are low. But they're not zero, okay? I know where you live, alright? And I'll be at your house soon. I got my eye on you, Average Joe.
servers are shut down doesn't mean they can delete all the games you already have installed off your system. I'll be playing Mario Kart World offline 20 years later just like everyone else. Hell, maybe I'll even pass down my account information to my children. I could sign in on their new Switch 4 and
what if... Hang on.
immediately get all my games back.
What if the servers aren't there, though? Like, what if you can't download them, though? If the servers aren't there, how are you supposed to re-download them? That's the issue. Is that not what we're talking about here? In 20 years, when you pass on your information, you have to log on to the servers to download the game, don't you? I had games I bought digitally on the eShop, but like I can't download them on my 3DS anymore.
Physical cartridges can degrade over time and corrupt themselves? Have fun with that. Oh, but what if they ban your account? Nintendo can ban you for no reason. Well, legally, no, they can't. No one is allowed to sell you a product and then immediately restrict your access to that product for, quote, no reason. That's just stealing with extra steps.
As if they won't make some shit up in the EULA to like ban your account. You're under the assumption that Nintendo won't just can't just make up some shit to get rid of your account. They could if they wanted to. Does he know, chat? Does he know? do you really go? Oh, this thing's not gonna happen. Why? Because it's against the law. Okay, yeah. That stopped loads of people, huh?
Remember, you're a paying customer, and that entitles you to what you paid for. Sure, if you violate their terms of services, then they have the legal grounds to ban you. And is it fair that they force you to agree to that? No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying Nintendo can't actually ban you unless you do something that violates their rules.
Yes.
Actually,
And the
deleting
hang on,
games from
yes.
stores
And the robbers can't get in unless I lock my door. Am I right? Yeah, that's how that works, right, chat? The robbers can't get in if I lock my door. Oh my god, Nintendo, Nintendo, you can't ban me. I've done nothing wrong. As if they can't just make up some shit. They own the system, broski. What are we doing here? Actually, deleting games from stores and locking gamers from playing their already purchased game is why Stop Killing Games is a thing. Literally, which it's a shame that the UK just rejected that outright, but oh man, honestly, there's an elephant in the room here, gamers.
Such as cheating in online games or trying to hack the console, etc.
What if someone frames you for cheating and you get banned? That's what happened to a friend of mine once. Now, obviously, like, you're thinking, these are very niche cases, that's not going to happen to everyone. But, like, what if something like that happened to you? What if your account got stolen? There's, like, so many what-ifs that can happen with digital games that you're not really considering. Whereas with this is in my drawer. No one's getting this from me, all right? But, like, there's so many things that could go wrong with an account. Like, it could get stolen. You could get, like, just, like, false positive. Like, say someone in your Splatoon game was hacking, but you weren't. It could be a false positive, and you could get banned. Like, there's so many things. What if you lose the password and you lose the email to get access? Like, yeah, the chance of these things happening are low, but they're never zero. And it's a lot harder for someone to, like, break into my house and steal my copy of DKB than it is for someone to potentially hack me. Like, I mean, 2FA is a thing, but, like, sometimes even that doesn't work, you know? So, like, there's a lot of things with physical. Now, again, I'm not saying any of these things are particularly common, but it's strange that you haven't acknowledged any of these. Very weird. I'm hoping you do later. Maybe there's a bit more later, but strange. Very, very strange. And even in robberies, in some states, you can get sued if the robber breaks into your house and gets injured in your house. Yeah, literally. So what's the police going to do, huh? I don't know what to say. I really don't. I really don't know what to say, gamers. I'm
So
shocked.
basically just don't do anything stupid, and you'll be fine. But what about the servers? How will you access the content you've paid for if they shut down the servers? Why? Why would they ever do that? I don't think they're going out of business anytime soon. The only time they've ever shut down a server is when there's a new one to replace it with. What if that new server is an eShop successor then?
So what you're saying is that I can go on my Nintendo Wii and download all the games I had digitally on my old Wii if I don't... Oh, no, I can't! Oh, no, I can't! Because the Wii Shop channel is gone. Oh, no! Hang on, gamers. I can't... what about my... I got a digital copy of New Soup U. Do you think I can do that on my Wii? Oh, no, I can't! Oh, no! It's all gone! It's all gone, gamers. No, it's all gone. No, it's all gone. Oh, man. So we can still run the Wii Shop channel? Yeah, it's like... I swear you still can. Like, am I wrong? Can you still download your old 3DS games or old Wii games? As far as I'm concerned, you can't. You can actually re-download things you still pay for. Can you? Is that possible? Yes? No, I'm getting mixed messages. I don't know if you can. Or if you can't. What about Wii though? Can you do it on the Wii?
Does not care about older gen systems. Crying face emoji.
Unfortunately, it's a shame. Not in a Nintendo approved manner, at least. Hang on, let me look this up. Actually, I'm curious. Let's see. Can you still download your old 3DS games? How to download and re-download content on the Nintendo 3DS. Oh, I suppose so if you did buy something, you still can. I don't think you can do with the Wii though, because we didn't have accounts. So if you did buy something on your Wii, you can't. But 3DS and I'm guessing Wii U, you still can. So that's correct at least. But I still think that that still stands to reason that you're still reliant on Nintendo keeping these up. Like, this is not going to be available forever, basically. Whereas I have a physical copy of New Soup 2. I can have access to that whenever I want. It's like half a point for him, because, like, yeah, I can still download this if the servers stay up. But again, once again, it kind of does away with the advantage you get of this. I don't have to rely on them, because think about it. With this, they're doing you a service by keeping these servers up. At any point, they can just go, well, we don't want to keep these servers, and they're costing us, so let's just pull the plug. Whereas no one's going to pull the plug on this. Does that make sense? So technically, he's right. You can pull up, you can download old games if you bought them on the 3DS and the Wii U. Don't think the Wii though. But it's one of those things where again you're relying on them keeping the servers up, which they just won't. At some point, I'm sure they'll get rid of them. How about digital? How about digital exclusive 3DS or Wii U games? You can't get them now, can you? So it's just. I don't mind that he's pulling a defense for digital games, but he's not acknowledging any of the faults, you know?
In their restaurant because they had Disney Plus. Look it up. And Browski thinks Nintendo can't legally ban his account.
There's no way that's true. Hang on. Is that true? Disney Plus. Hang on, what's it? What is this? Okay, Disney has withdrawn its claim though, but like the fact that they could do this is fucking crazy. That's actually insane. Holy shit! That's insane. So it says Disney have now since dropped the claim, but yeah, because of a clause in the terms and conditions of a Disney Plus streaming service, which. Oh my god. Now, again, I haven't read this all, so I can't verify this personally, but if this is anything to go by, fucking hell. And you're telling me they can't just make up something Nintendo can't make up something to ban you? Like, granted, the precedent hasn't been set in a courtroom, thankfully, because they dropped the lawsuit, but, like, that just goes to show you how fickle all of these TOSs are. They can literally decide in a heartbeat to get rid of your stuff if you want to. You're at the whims of a mega corporation. Now, granted, the chance of that affecting you are low, but it's never zero. But guess where it is with zero, chat? The chance of Nintendo fucking with me is zero now, because I have the game. Things that we're not acknowledging at all, Mr. Average Joe, or no?
Makes you buy everything again for your new hardware, like they did with Wii U and 3DS. Okay, that's totally possible. I'll give you that.
Hang on.
What if that new server is an eShop successor that makes you buy everything again for your new hardware, like they did with Wii U and 3DS? Okay, that's totally possible. Well, I'll give you that. Okay, so fine. 1 point for physical games. Nintendo can't decide
one point.
to restrict your access, make unwanted changes, or make you buy the game again. So, physical wins? We should just give up on key cards and ship every game on its own cartridge because that's clearly better? Well, not so.
Again, what is this? Chat, what's happening right now? Where is this? That's not what any of us are saying. Hang on, is anyone who's a physical Andy saying this? No one is saying this. Hang on, one more time.
Make unwanted changes or make you buy the game again. So, physical wins? We should just give up on key cards and ship every game on its own cartridge because that's clearly better? Well, not so fast there, champ.
You're not so fast. I mean, not so fast, but like, help me out here, broski. Help me out.
Are you sure our technology is even up to the task?
What do you mean by this? Let's find out.
Games are getting way bigger than they used to be. With all those highly detailed character models, 4K textures, AAA games can easily balloon up to 70, 100 plus gigabytes of space. Some projects just can't pull off the compression witchcraft that Nintendo is somehow capable of.
I don't, listen, I personally, if you're asking me, I am not going to give Take-Two Interactive, one of the biggest game publishers on planet Earth, a pass for not compressing their games as much as Nintendo do. If Nintendo can do it, any big publisher can do it. I do not buy for a second that if they cared about this, they would do it. But Take-Two Interactive does not care. And if they don't care, then obviously why does Rockstar care? I think this is one of those issues I think this is one of those skill issues, really. And because I guarantee you right now, let's say for example right now, I guarantee you Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo put in a mandate saying that they're going to add like a 10% eShop digital tax to any games above 50 gigabytes that are single-player games. If they did something like that, overnight, chat, overnight, we would see games like this not exist anymore. Like, it's in this insane balloon size. I haven't, listen, I can't, okay, I'm just saying, I can't prove it. I can't prove it. But I know it's true, okay? I know it's true. Just listen, guys. I know, but I can't prove it just yet, okay? Thank you so much, F7. He defended specifically key cards. Has he defended specifically key cards once yet? I don't know, to be honest. All I'm saying is that I guarantee you they'd be able to. Are you telling me that Nintendo owns this fucking witchcraft and no other company can reverse engineer it? We had motherfuckers reverse engineering rockets in the Cold War era. Do you know what I mean? You can reverse engineer anything if you have the time and dedication enough. And because Sony and Microsoft just don't care about this sort of thing, they don't have to. There's no pressure on them to do so. Whereas Nintendo, they care, so they will. But all I'm saying is I don't believe you, okay?
So
I don't believe you.
let's say you're trying to load into the next level of your game, and that level requires 7 gigabytes of information be loaded onto the console first. How long is that gonna take? What if you're in an open world and you don't want the immersion broken by loading screens? So the Switch 1 used micro SD cards for their external storage, which works well enough. It's a very standardized format with millions getting produced every day. They're super cheap because so many other devices already use it too. Their only problem, they're not very fast. At least not fast enough to load something like Cyberpunk on the fly. It'd be like trying to watch a 4K movie off a floppy disk. So Nintendo had a choice to make. Do we use slow but cheap SD cards and stay in the past? Or adopt the newer, faster Express cards? And we all know the answer, they chose speed. But this is what leads the Switch 2 into its first major roadblock. When you go to buy an old SD card, you have all the options you could possibly want. But try searching for an Express card, and at this point in time, you're not gonna find one that carries less than 128 gigabytes. And they're not cheap either. So where's all this going? Well, when the Switch 1 cartridges were based off the standard SD card, developers could pick between a 2, 16, or 32 gigabyte cartridge, which is good, because why pay for space you're not using? But what about the cartridges based on the newer Express technology for Switch 2? Nintendo can't easily offer all those size options because nobody else makes them that small. Anything less than 128 gigabytes, and Nintendo's gonna have to manufacture these cards from scratch, which is expensive. 15 American dollars per cartridge expensive. So yeah, I'll admit it looks bad on Nintendo's part to charge the same for physical games as digital when there's...
Now, what you're saying might all be true. It might all be true. I'll be so frank with you. I have an extremely hard time sympathizing with the billion-dollar company. I'll be real. I'll just be straight up with you, broski. I don't doubt for a second Nintendo could pay SanDisk or whatever to manufacture a smaller Micro Express. I don't doubt that in the slightest. And they just simply don't want to. I'm trying to avoid doing the fucking... It should be on the company, but it's like, if you're why can't they? They're rich. If they cared about this sort of thing, they'd give us the option. But they don't. So while I won't stick it on, if what you're saying is true and that the options are quite limited in that the big SD, like the SD cards are quite big and they're quite expensive, is it necessarily on the publishers or is it necessarily, I have a hard, maybe I'll shift the blame. I'll probably less so blame the devs and more Nintendo not giving them options. You know, is that a bit more fair, I think? I think if a company's, I just don't know, to be honest. I think it's very clear that if you're gonna put a game card, if you're gonna put something on a physical game card, right? And you're a company that's big enough where you could afford to eat the cost, so to speak. I have a hard time sympathizing. I don't know. I 100% blame Nintendo for this because Nintendo could offer options, but they just choose not to. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, my initial response is I have a hard time sympathizing with the billion-dollar company. That's what I would say.
So much more resources that go into a physical release. But I also think we'd be complaining even more if Mario Kart World was releasing at $90 plus physically. It may be pretty that Nintendo is only offering developers one size option for their physical cartridges, that being 64 gigs, but the thing is, no one on Earth but Nintendo are even using Express cards this small, so every single size option is likely gonna cost the same amount to produce. A 4 gig Express card, $15. A 64 gig Express card, also $15. That's the problem. It just doesn't make sense for Nintendo to offer anything smaller than 64 gigs because the cost to produce anything smaller would be just as high. So Nintendo's boxed in. Smaller cartridges aren't economically viable, and third-party devs don't want to eat the cost of $15 per physical copy.
Then we as the consumer will decide not to get a game key card then, right? Is that not fair? Is that not a fair conclusion to draw? If the publishers, if Nintendo says, hey, we don't want to make anything lower than 64, and the devs are like, well, if they're not making anything lower than 64, then we're not going to make something, then we're not going to eat the cost, it's too expensive, then we can go, okay. So why does it have to be our problem though? Like, again, you're asking me to sympathize with the billion-dollar company when I'm a consumer who it is in my vested interest to want games the way I want to play my games. I'll give you props for giving me a perspective that I never considered before. But once again, it just boils down to I am a consumer who wants physical games fully to be on the cart. Game keycards are not an interesting sell to me whatsoever. So if you're telling me, but they can't though, they can't. I'm just like, okay. That's my response basically. I'm just like, sure. Is that not all of our collective responses, guys? Because again, I'm glad that you're giving an alternate perspective, sure, but I can't say that I care. But anyway, I'll let him finish his point though.
Enter the key card, a plastic ID that unlocks the game digitally while still giving collectors something to hold and resell. Sure, it's not ideal, but considering the economics behind it, is it really all that crazy of a compromise? Keycards might be the only way most third-party games are even making it to store shelves at all these days. Plus, it's not like Switch 1 cartridges are fully obsolete yet. If your indie game doesn't take up a lot of space anyways, it probably doesn't need to be on a cartridge with such fast loading speeds either. Why not just put your game out on a Switch 1 cartridge at that point? You can even offer players a free Switch 2 edition upgrade for those who own the better console. And at that point, Switch 2 players get their higher quality, Switch 1 players don't get left behind, developers aren't paying out the ass for every physical sale, and Nintendo gets to keep Switch 1 support alive that much longer. Everybody wins. Like, why are we even using—
No, everyone. Okay, chat, now help me with this, chat. Help me. If you're asking Musty, why do you buy a physical game? I buy it because I get all of this in the... Has this guy neglected the fact that I want to say most of us, is it fair to say most of us, chat, if not all of us? I just want the whole thing to be on the thing.
I don't need that much space compared to digital.
It doesn't, but like obviously Nintendo isn't really giving any options. I mean, the box size cool. Like, I like that I have the physical thing to hold, I guess, but I'm just like, I just want the whole thing on the cartridge personally. For me, why I don't see the point. If you're asking me, Musty, why don't you buy a game key card? I don't understand the idea that I'm going to occupy physical space in my house for a cartridge. It's not in there at the moment. For a cartridge that I still have to download something to play. Does that make sense? I just don't see the point. If you're asking me, and I want to say that's probably most collectors. Like, yeah, the physical, like, you know, shelf space where you get to see, oh, that's DKP, oh, that's really cool. But for like me, I'm just like, I just want the whole, I want to be able to put it in, and I don't have to download some shit. You know what I mean? I just want to put the game in and get the whole thing. I don't know. If you're asking me, that's most of the draw. But maybe I'm the minority. Are we the majority? I have no idea. Does he think people maybe buy physical games as a collector's item? I guarantee you there's a chunk of people that do, but like, I know I don't. I don't even have a shelf to put my games anymore. I just like the idea that I bought this, it's mine now, and I can resell it for full value wherever I want, you know? With game key cards, do we know if their resale value holds, if that makes sense? I have no idea. We don't know just yet. I wonder if he's going to bring out the benefit of physical copies where it won't take, it won't take up as much space on my console. Yeah, no, also, and I'm so glad you mentioned this then, because I think that's another glaring problem that I'm surprised I didn't mention. Most consoles, and I think it's fair for us to say, chat, most consoles do not come with enough space by default for, I would say, modern video game standards. My PS5 is already like, I would say like as of like 6 months ago, I've had to start shifting things around. Because, for some fucking stupid reason, I have a 2 terabyte hard drive that I cannot load games from. The PS5 is, no, you have to load games from the console. And also, my default PS5 is like, what, 700 gigs? Like, the most modern games I put on there, I can only put like, what, like 5 or 6 AAA games at once? And you're probably thinking, well, do you need to play any more of that at one time? It's like, yeah, but that's not the issue, though. The issue is I only have to just play my whole library as often as I want. You know what I mean? That's the whole issue. I don't get it, man. So with physical games, I don't have to download anything. I get the whole game on the cart. It doesn't take up any disk space, and I'm good for it, you know? Will you game with 32 gigabytes? Maybe it holds 20 games. And that's bear in mind, that's Nintendo. Nintendo's generally good at like compressing their games. On the PS5, I'm telling you right now, if I was to load up right now, I have what? Overwatch, Apex Legends. I still have the Battlefield open beta, which I should probably delete. The finals. I think I have Fall Guys on there. Fortnite. I think that's literally it, chat. I literally think I have those games on there. If I want another game on there, I have to get rid of one of the games. I don't think I can install another like big release. because it's annoying, and I hate that. But with physical, and I think this is the one big point, I'm surprised I didn't think of it, thank you, Sten, is that the whole thing is here, and I do not have to worry about my Switch's storage space. That's the other big thing. Yeah, the PS4 and PS5 are notorious. Like, I own a PS5. I got room to talk. It's lucky the PS5 has no games. Oh, I got Helldivers 2 on there as well, by the way. I love Helldivers 2. It's lucky the PS5 has no games, because otherwise I'd be fucking screwed, man. I'd be screwed!
Using the key cards, just keep using.
Actually, you do have to download stuff, even if you have digital. You still need to download updates and stuff. Let's be real here, Slumberg. I think you're doing the thing. You're doing the thing where you're being like, You should have put. Do you know what I need you to do, Slum? I need you to retype that chat message and put a nerd emoji on either side, okay? Because if you're telling DKB, I don't know how many gigabytes this is. It doesn't say. I think. But on the back it says download required approximately 180 megabytes for game share support. I think most of our Switches can handle 180 megabyte mandatory update, I guess, according to the box. Whereas if I wanted to download this digitally, I'd have to, I don't know how many gigabytes, it's 20 gigabytes, whatever it is. I'd have to afford all that, which is much less annoying. They're tiny. Okay, they're inconsequential at most, all right?
The Switch won't that much longer. Everybody wins. Like, why are we even using the key cards? Just keep using Switch 1 cartridges. They're right there. But I do truly see key cards as Nintendo's way of fighting to keep physical media alive. It's not easy putting a game this big on a cartridge that small. And that's why they went with Express technology and not a cheaper, more viable storage option like SSD. Wait, actually, yeah, wait, what the why didn't they just use SSD cartridges instead?
Oh, crazy.
Oh, yeah. Because solid-state drives are easier to hack into and they don't want anyone stealing their games. Okay, so maybe it's not technology that's the problem.
Oh my god, gamers. He's switching sides. Gamers, he's switching sides. Gamers, he's switching sides. He's on our team now, gamers. Tactical switch.
Nintendo's just being stubborn like the N64 days again.
Oh my god, gamers. He's switching. He's always one of us. He was what? He's one of us. Gamers. This is all an elaborate plan, Average Joe. This is all an elaborate plan. He's one of us all along, gamers. Come to the lights, Mr. Average Joe.
But who cares? Hacking and piracy and that's wrong anyways. Right? Well, yeah, but it may also be our best chance at keeping these games alive.
Oh my god, he's what gamers. He became woke. He got team rebalanced. He got team rebalanced mid video chat. He baited us. We got retro sofa. We got baited. He was making the poor arguments for the Stooges. Oh my god, we got baited again, chat. We got done. We got
the last
done.
argument I want to touch on is
the video is good now. Yes.
Physical releases are the best way to preserve your games from becoming lost media. But remember when I said those cartridges can degrade over time? Yeah, no, that shit's real. And let's say your physical copy does still work 20 years later. You may own a copy of Advance Wars on GBA, but how does that help me play it? You're not
I can dump the ROM.
Preserving a copy for everyone and for history. You're preserving it for yourself. See, Nintendo may still have a copy of Captain Rainbow somewhere in their databases, but when's the next time that's ever gonna see a re-release? No, if we want these games preserved as long as possible in a manner where they're still publicly accessible, we gotta put matters into our own hands. And no, that doesn't mean we all need to go out and buy our own physical copy of Captain Rainbow. It means we need to dump that ROM online and spread it as a torrent. Why a torrent?
Yes, gamers! Yes! Yar, har, har. Yes, gamers! Preservation.
Well, we don't have massive data centers like Nintendo does, but we do all have computers that can send information back and forth. That information would be copyrighted, so it's gotta be encrypted and split up into thousands of little pieces as a torrent, each computer holding a few or all of those pieces.
Are you ready, kids?
Nintendo can shut down a website, but they can't shut down everyone's personal PC.
I can't hear you!
So, I mean, yeah, piracy is honest.
Please don't pirate old games to play them for free. They pirate them to keep them alive because the original cartridges won't last forever. Nintendo. Oh my god, they're so mad. They're so mad, gamers.
The best way we have to preserve copyrighted material, because preservation equals redundancy, multiple copies with easy accessibility. So if we want our games to truly last forever, don't store it on a cartridge, store it on thousands of computers that are talking to each other. But wait, how are we supposed to dump the game files off of these cartridges in the first place?
How?
If keycards are nothing more than a glorified redirect link, it's not like Nintendo themselves are gonna offer up an easy way to add all these games to the Pirate Bay. Okay, fine. So maybe physical releases do kind of play a small but crucial role in long-term game preservation. But it's not like these key cards are completely useless. You can still resell a game card to someone else. That's gotta count for something. I mean, sure, it's basically the worst of both worlds in terms of practicality and convenience. You have to stick the game in your system every time you want to play, while it still takes up all your internal storage. But I would at least recommend them to the people who, I mean, I'd definitely get one myself if it weren't for the fact that...
One thing Excuse me for 1 second.
Yeah, you know what? These things suck, actually.
True!
Game key cards.
Yeah! Yes, gamers! Yes! Gamers, he's our guy now! He's our guy now, yes! He was our guy. Well, I knew, gamers. I knew. I was tricking all of you. Me and Average Joe were in on the joke. I tricked on it. That was a trick, gamers. I deceived you, gamers. I deceived you. I deceived you. I was in on it all along. And you guys got debated. He's a real one after all. But either way, I would say that was I was gonna say a good defense of game key cards, but a good defense of game key cards, because yeah, it really just does seem like the worst of both worlds, doesn't it? And if what Nintendo is saying is that there's not smaller options, oh my god, he has a Patreon. Games, and he has a Patreon. He's one of the exceptions, gamers. He's one of the good ones. He's one of the good ones.
Oh, no.
I pre-watched it to bait all of you guys into donating.
Pre-watched, I can't.
Oh man, in all fairness, I got baited too. You know, well done, Average Joe. You did a very good job playing heel, and I like a good heel. I like a good redemption arc. But let's see how many people in the comments. That's why you watch the whole video, chat. How many people in the comments fell for it? Let's find out, chat. Let's find out. How many fell for it again awards are we dishing out today? Had me in the oh, okay, he didn't fall for it. You could tell who didn't watch the whole video. And to us, you could blame them when this guy purposely drags the video for tournament with pointless points just to reveal at the end he doesn't like the game key card. And everything he said is guys, can we give this guy our first fell for it again awards? I generally think continuing to use Switch 1 cartridges for games way under 64 gigabytes could be a good solution. It's not that the arguments are invalid. I make a point for both sides of the argument, basically playing devil's advocate. It's an interesting approach to the conversation, because otherwise I'm repeating all the complaints people say about them. It's not just that, I'm not saying that they're bad. I attempt to make a case for why they're good and elaborate on why the logic fails. Trying to defend them in the best way possible to highlight their fatal flaws. It shows why they have no redeeming qualities. It's like watching the only person defending keycards slowly realize they're irredeemable. I respect the bit. Replying me does not make the first impression go away. You know that This guy is devastated. Do you know what this was, Chad? He was at lunch. Do you know when you're like, I don't know, you guys do this too, right? Lunchtime at work, you get like half an hour. You're like, okay, video on my feed. I need this video to be good, good video to get me through the rest of my work shift. He watched this as his work lunch break video, and that's why he's so fucking fuming. Honestly. I can't believe it. I don't respect this video all as a troll. You don't? I thought it was the least interesting. The key cards are the worst of both worlds. They don't have the game, so you don't get to rely on servers. You'll still have to pay for the full cartridge. Just go digital at that point. The small upside of being resellable comes at the cost of having physical release and players feeling duped. Yeah, literally. All of those people saying digital's better. Is everything good at whoever defending key cards to telling people to tell them to piss off. I've seen more character development in Average Joe YouTube men in a 12-minute video than I have from a character in a modern AAA game. AAA slander in 2025, and he gave it a heart. Downvote. He sees the light. He sees the light, gamers. He sees the light. The real problem is for preservation isn't digital, it's DRM. Like with a DRM-free digital game, like you get on GOG, you can create as many physical backups you want by storing them on different drives. And with DRM, you don't even own your physical copies any more than digital copies. Yeah, but people can crack DRM, I think. People are good at that sort of thing. The Ragebait, you got me completely. You actually made me so mad. I'm so glad with that the bait became believable. I wasn't mad. Gamers, I'm just saying I wasn't mad. Oh, no, don't try and... Hey, take back your fell for it again award. I didn't fall for it. You made some genuine good points. You didn't have me convinced or anything, but you didn't even... but even if it didn't make me mad... 8 out of 10 rage bait? I get like a 7. Is this rage... Oh, he didn't watch the whole video. Papyrus didn't watch the whole video. Oh, no. Downvote. Half-baked ideas. Think about the next few steps, please. Otherwise, you're just relying on fallacies and arguing dishonestly. Oh, default Dan... fell for it again. I'll be real with you. In a world where Nintendo doesn't exist and I can't download my games from them any longer, how the hell am I going to have time to play video games anyway? I'll be concerned with finding my next meal or rationing my water usage. Okay, Mad Max. That's not gonna happen, bro. The supply chain is too big, all right? Nothing ever happens. Bro, like, oh no. The Clippies gamers, the Clippies are cooked. Very long, bad take. Oh, come on. The video wasn't, it was 12 minutes. Are you guys that cooked? The video was like 12 minutes long. You guys can't watch a 12-minute long video anymore? Go on TikTok, all right? Bro talks in defense of GameCube cards for 8 minutes just to end behind. They're actually bad, lol. Actual waste of time. Oh, I think he copied and pasted his comment for. Also, welcome to YouTube where every video wastes your time. Kind of what entertainment is for. I'll help you with the ratio, okay? I'll help you with the ratio. All you have to, you know, average, all I'm saying is you just have to say El Skibbity Toilet. And that's what you have to do, okay? Average Joe. I will say for future, if my chat is anything to go by, they're mad at you, okay? They're mad at you because you spent too long to do the twist. So next time, to help all these TikTok brains in my chat out, right? I think you gotta like make it like 6 minutes of bait before you reveal, okay? You gotta keep it short next time. The TikTokers can't handle it, okay? They can't handle it. You know, I'm subscribing. I'm subscribing again. I'm subscribing. All right. Either way. I would be careful if you're going to do this again, okay? Be careful, right? Because the people online are going to get you, okay? The people online they're going to get you, okay? They're going to listen. What I'm saying, I got information I can't share with you right now, but they're going to come after you, okay? You got to be careful. You got to be careful, Joe, okay? Just be careful, okay? And we'll leave that there, gamers.